Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. Humanity's ultimatum, one more step. And the real nightmare begins. For many years, humans searched the stars in peace. They built ships, made colonies on far planets, and sent messages into space. "We come in peace," the messages said in every major galactic language. "We are new. We wish to learn. We wish to share." And for a while, no one replied. Then the galaxy answered. The Galactic Council, made of powerful alien species, accepted humanity's message. Humans were invited to speak, trade, and explore, but only under strict rules. Earth agreed. Humans had learned from their past wars. They wanted peace this time. But peace was mistaken for weakness. The Cronak attacked far from Earth, on the edge of human space, at a small colony called Eden Reach. It was a farming world. Families lived there, children played under two suns. One day, all contact was lost. Earth sent ships. They found only smoke and silence. Buildings were destroyed, fields burned, but there were no bodies. They had all been taken. Survivor drones recorded the attackers, tall, armored, and brutal, the Kron Empire, a warrior race known for crushing weaker species. They had received Earth's peaceful message. They thought it was a joke. One Kron general said, "They talk like children. They will fall like children." Earth tried again. Even after the attack, Earth did not strike back. Instead, they sent diplomats. "We don't want war," the message said. "Return our people. Stop the attacks. Let us talk." The Cronak responded by destroying the diplomatic shuttle. Then, they made their worst mistake. A large human ship, the Mercy Flame, was on a rescue mission near Eden Reach. It carried food, medicine, and hundreds of civilian doctors. It was clearly marked with Red Cross signs. The Cronak didn't care. They fired one shot. The ship exploded, no survivors. The message that changed everything, Earth's skies darkened as the news spread. Billions watched the explosion footage. Families cried. Soldiers clenched their fists. Inside Earth's Central Command, President Alina Wren stood before a camera. She had tears in her eyes, but her voice was like steel. To the galaxy, and especially to the Cronak Empire, she said, "We showed you our kindness. You saw it as weakness." She looked directly into the lens. "We begged for peace. You answered with blood. So here is our final message." She paused. "Stop attacking, or we stop pretending to be civilized." Then the screen went black. The calm before the storm. In secret underground bases, old files were opened, codes were activated, and soldiers from Project Black Ice were pulled out of stasis. The world didn't know these names, but the galaxy soon would. Trained in silence, in shadows, built for war no one ever wanted. Now Earth needed them. The galaxy reacts. Across space, other alien empires watched the broadcast. Some laughed. "The humans are emotional," one said. "They will cry and do nothing." Some were afraid. "They warned us once before during the Turan Wars. They keep records of every crime." One species, the old Zern historians, remembered Earth's past. "The humans don't start wars, but they always finish them." Final scene, deep inside the Arctic military vault, a black door opened. Behind it were soldiers with cold eyes and calm hearts. Their leader, a woman named Rhea Cade, stepped forward. She looked up at the Earth flag. "Permission to remove the mask, Commander." From the screen, President Wren answered, "Permission granted. Make them regret every breath." The team moved out, and just like that, the hunt had begun. The world watched in silence. After the president's warning, people expected speeches, more diplomacy, maybe more waiting. But Earth didn't wait anymore. They had already made a decision. Ghost Fleet rises. Far beyond the moon, hidden in deep space, a group of ships appeared. No one had seen them before. They had no names, no signals, just cold black steel and silent engines. This was Ghost Fleet 13. Each ship had no crew list, no ID tags. Only one message was sent from them: mission received. Mask off. The fleet moved fast, heading straight toward the Kronak borders. Operation Black Ice. Inside one of the ships, Commander Rhea Cade stood in front of her team. These were not ordinary soldiers. Each of them had been trained for secret missions far from Earth's public eyes. They were part of Project Black Ice, created for one reason only: to end wars before they begin. Now the war had already started. Cade spoke quietly, but every soldier listened. No more warnings. No more peace talks. The Kronak wanted monsters. Let's show them what that means. Her team nodded. No one smiled. No one joked. This was not a mission. This was a hunt. The first strike, the first Kronak base, was located on a small moon called Brakva. It held over 3,000 troops, fully armed and prepared for battle. They were not prepared for humans without limits. In the middle of the night, without warning, the lights in the base went out. Then came silence. And then screams. Cameras caught glimpses of black armor, glowing blue eyes, and soldiers moving like shadows. By the time the sun rose on Brakva, nothing moved. The Kronak base was silent, and on the wall, written in their own language, was a message: this is the cost of waking the sleeping giants. The galaxy began to fear. The Galactic Council met in an emergency session. One member asked, "Did humans do this?" The Zern Elder replied, "Who else moves like ghosts and kills like fire?" Some tried to send messages to Earth. Earth did not answer. Others tried to send warnings to the Kronak. Too late. Kronak reaction: Kronak generals were furious. They sent more ships. They ordered more attacks. But every time, human soldiers were already there, waiting. They didn't fight fair. They disabled ships, crushed supply lines, turned Kronak weapons against them. In just 2 weeks, 6 Kron bases fell. The Empire couldn't hide the truth anymore. "We made a mistake," one Kron commander said. "We thought the humans were weak. We were wrong. One human, versus many." On a distant planet, a Kronak warlord captured a human scout alive. He wanted to show his people that humans bleed like anyone else. He asked the soldier, "What are you?" The human, bloody but calm, looked up. "You called us animals, but we are the monsters you built. You kept pushing. Now we stop holding back." That night, the warlord's base was destroyed from the inside. No one ever found the human's body. Only ashes and silence. The mask is gone. Earth made no more peaceful offers. No more messages. No more meetings. They had worn the mask of peace for years. But now the mask had fallen, and what was underneath was something the galaxy had never seen before. In a Kronak command room, generals argued. One screamed, "We must surrender." Another said, "No. They are only humans." Suddenly, the lights flickered. One general turned and whispered, "They're here." Outside, the stars grew darker. The silent fleet of Earth approached once more. And this time, they weren't coming to warn anyone. The Kron Empire was breaking, not from a full war, but from fear. They still had more ships, more soldiers, more weapons. But it didn't matter. Because humans were not fighting with numbers. They were fighting with rage. The ghost that haunts. In the capital city of the Kronak Empire, news spread fast. A name echoed in every command center: Rhea. The woman in black armor. The commander who took down 6 bases in 2 weeks. She had no mercy. She left no survivors. Alien leaders asked, why is she so dangerous? What drives her? The answer was hidden deep in her past. Ria's past. Many years ago, Ria's father worked as a doctor on a space station near the edge of human territory. He treated all species, even Kronak warriors. He believed in peace. But one night, a Kronak warship raided the station. They killed everyone, doctors, nurses, even children. Ria survived by hiding in a vent for 12 hours. When soldiers finally rescued her, she said just one thing, I won't beg. I'll make them beg. And she kept that promise. The war inside, even among her team, Ria was quiet, focused, cold. But inside, a fire burned. One of her team members, Jackson, once asked, how far will we go, Commander? She looked at him and replied, as far as they push us. Humanity didn't want war. But now that it had started, they refused to lose. They had trained to be civil. Now they trained to be monsters. The broken general, General Thark of the Kronak, had once laughed at humans. Now, he sat in his fortress with guards at every door. He couldn't sleep. He heard whispers in the dark. He saw human faces in his dreams. Then, one night, the power died. A shadow passed through the hall. One by one, his guards vanished. When his door opened, he saw Ria standing there. She didn't shout. She didn't run. She walked calmly and said, you burned a hospital. Now feel the pain of every life you ended. By morning, the general was gone. Galaxy in shock. Other empires were watching. Some cheered for humanity. Others feared they were waking something terrible. The Zern scholars said, we thought humans were peaceful. But that peace was a cage. And now the cage is open. The message was clear. Humans are not weak. They were holding back. Inside the human mind, across Earth, children watched videos of the war. They didn't cheer. They didn't smile. They asked their parents, why did they attack us? Parents answered with sad eyes, because they didn't believe we'd fight back. In military labs, scientists created new armor, smarter eyes, faster drones, stealth tech, even the Kronak couldn't detect. And when they handed the gear to Blakayid soldiers, they said, make it quick. But make them remember. In space, a Kron fleet waited near planet Velar. They had 20 warships, fully armed, ready. Then the human fleet arrived. Just 5 ships. The Kronak commander laughed, until his sensors failed. Until his ship started exploding one by one. Until he realized, we are not fighting soldiers. We are fighting something else. A message blinked on his screen, you wanted monsters. You got them. Then the screen went black. The Kronak Empire had ruled for centuries. They destroyed dozens of species, conquered hundreds of worlds. But now, they were afraid. Because humans weren't fighting for land. They were fighting for revenge. Broken pride, in a secret Kronak war council, leaders argued. One shouted, they're just one planet. How are we losing? Another replied, they fight like ghosts. They strike and vanish. The High Warlord slammed his fist. Then we strike Earth directly. Everyone went quiet. No one had ever dared to attack Earth until now. The Earth defense line, humans knew what was coming. The Kronak were angry, desperate. So Earth prepared for the worst. Satellites turned into weapons. Moon bases became defense shields. Space stations held nukes, lasers, and EMP bombs. At the edge of the solar system, the Titan Wall was built, a line of massive ships standing guard. Commander Ria Cade stood at the front. She had one message for the fleet, this is our home. If they want it, let them come. The first real battle, and they came. The Kronak sent a full fleet, 70 warships, dozens of fighter wings, and bio-torpedoes. The stars filled with fire. But humans didn't back down. They fought smart. They used traps, decoys, hacked enemy ships mid-battle. And Rhea's ghost fleet hit from behind, cutting the Kronak line in two. Hours later, half the alien ships floated in pieces. The others tried to escape, but Earth's fleet chased them down. Not one ship made it back. Galaxy in shock. News of the battle spread fast. Planets that once feared the Kronak now cheered for Earth. Some empires even sent gifts to the humans. Others stayed silent. But deep inside, they whispered, if the Kron can fall, what chance do we have? The last straw, Kron leaders were furious. They needed a victory. Something big. So they chose a target, Mars Base Theta, a human colony with families, schools, and scientists. They attacked at night. They expected screams, panic, surrender. Instead, they found laser turrets, drone swarms, and exosuited civilians fighting back. One Kronak soldier yelled, "Even their children are soldiers." And in the middle of the chaos, a human mother with a plasma rifle shouted, "You came to our home. Now pay the price." A new human weapon. After the battle, Earth revealed something new. A secret project. It wasn't a weapon. It was a plan to end the Kronak Empire in 7 steps. Step 1 had already begun. Rhea Cade was given full control. She looked at the file and said one word, finally. On the edge of the galaxy, a Kron listening post picked up a strange signal. They thought it was a normal scan, but when they opened the file, it played a human voice, "We gave you warnings. You ignored them. Now we don't need words anymore." Suddenly, their power failed. Their alarms screamed. A bright flash lit the sky. Then nothing. Just silence. The tide had turned. The Kronak Empire was dying, not all at once, but piece by piece. And humans were the reason. They didn't come with millions of ships. They didn't drop endless bombs. They came like hunters, silent, smart, brutal. And every time they struck, the Kronak lost something important. Step 2, cut the supply. Under Hades' protocol, Step 2 had started. Human agents found the Kronak's biggest fuel station, Zurich 5. It powered 1/3 of their war fleet. At midnight, 3 cloaked human drones entered the station. One landed in the reactor core. The others hacked the power grid. 5 minutes later, boom. Zurich 5 vanished in a fireball. 50 Kron ships lost power. Within hours, they floated helpless in deep space. Some begged for help. No one answered. Rhea's shadow fleet, Rhea Cade, and her ghost fleet didn't rest. She had one goal, make the Empire collapse from the inside. Every week, a new Kronak station went dark. Commanders vanished. Food supplies vanished. Entire planets were left confused and leaderless. And behind every strike, was a silent message, "This is only the beginning." The voice of fear, inside the Kronak capital, the High Warlord grew quiet. He used to roar in anger. Now, he whispered to his guards. He trusted no one. Even his food was tested 5 times before he ate. At night, he stared at old battle maps and muttered, "We were the predators. Now we are prey." A dangerous ally, in the shadows, a new player entered the game. The Dre, an old alien race once enslaved by the Kron, had stayed silent for years. But now, they sent a message to Earth, "Help us break free. In return, we will help end the Kronak." Earth's leaders agreed. Within a week, human special forces trained the Ravari rebels in stealth combat and sabotage. Together, they began burning the Kronak Empire from the inside. Revenge of the Week, the galaxy had watched humans with doubt. Now, small races once bullied by the Kronak were rising. The Valari, a peaceful insect race, hacked a Kronak war database and leaked it to Earth. The Ura, a small amphibian species, blocked fuel paths with asteroid fields. Everyone wanted the same thing, freedom and revenge. And humanity had become the spark that lit the fire. Kronak desperation, the Kron leadership panicked. They launched wild attacks, hoping to hit something, anything. But humans were always one step ahead. Each failed mission cost them more ships, more lives, more fear. Finally, they made a choice. They would gather every ship left and attack Earth directly. One final push to destroy the threat. But it was already too late. Because Step 5 of the Hades Protocol had begun, lure the enemy into the final trap. A massive Kronak fleet, over 100 ships, entered human space. They expected resistance. They expected chaos. Instead, they found empty space. No fleets. No stations. Nothing. Then, without warning, the stars lit up. Dozens of human stealth cruisers uncloaked from behind planets and asteroids. Earth's voice came through all channels, "We were civilized once. You ended that. Now we end you." A storm of missiles, lasers, and AI war drones rained down, and the sky burned. The galaxy had never seen such destruction. The Kronak Grand Fleet, once the strongest force in the stars, was gone. Wreckage floated through deep space. Fires burned in silence. And among the stars, humans stood victorious. But it wasn't over. Not yet. Because the High Warlord still lived. And Earth wasn't done. The final steps begin. The Hades Protocol moved to Step 6, break the head. The mission, take down the Kronak High Warlord. Not just his army, not his ships, but him. Earth's leaders gave the green light. Rhea Cade received the command directly. She nodded once and said, "It ends now." The core planet, the Kronak homeworld, Karazul, was a fortress. Layers of defense surrounded it. Energy shields. Minefields. Orbital weapons. No army had ever reached it. But Rhea didn't send an army. She sent a ghost team, 6 elite human operatives with stealth tech, hacking tools, and one mission, find and capture the warlord. They flew a cloaked ship past the outer rings. Dodged patrols. Landed near the capital tower. Everything was dark. Silent. Too easy. Inside the beast's lair, the capital was half empty. Civilians had fled. Soldiers were nervous. Fear spread like fire. The ghost team moved through tunnels unseen. They hacked doors, avoided drones. Then, inside the warlord's main chamber, they found him. Alone. Armored and waiting. He turned and growled, "So, the beast's finally come to my throne." But his voice shook. The humans didn't speak. They raised their weapons. The final duel, the warlord activated his blade. It crackled with plasma. He was strong, slicing walls, crushing metal, roaring like an animal. But the humans were faster, smarter, trained. They used stun darts, smoke grenades, EMPs. The fight was short. The warlord fell to his knees, coughing black blood. He looked up at Rhea, on the screen now patched in from orbit. "You will burn with us," he snarled. She answered, "No. We learn. We adapt. You